Dead by Daylight is an asymmetrical survival horror game. Hate it or love it, but if you're a fan of horror games, you've most likely heard of this game. The game consists of 4 survivors trying to repair 5 out of the 8 generators scattered across the map, while a ruthless killer chases them down and tries to sacrifice them to the entity. Survivors have various items, perks, building structures, pallets, and a whole ton of other stuff that help them aid in evading and eventually escaping from the killer. But what if the survivor didn't want to put a kill? What if they want to be a horny fuck and date the killers, even though they've killed so many people besides Spirit? Well, that's what's Hooked on You is about. Well, if you're someone who could somehow find one of these vicious psychopaths alluring, well, luckily for you, I guess someone else that behavior, company who made Dead by Daylight, thought so too, since they decided to make a whole fucking dating simulator for the Dead by Daylight killers. The premise of the game is that you wake up in an island, and there's 4 killers from Dead by Daylight that you can woo and date. Well, there's also chicks there, but I don't know if you can even do anything with chicks there. Some people say it's a hidden ending. I have no idea. And it's not just killers there. There's also Dwight and Claudette, who are 2 survivors from the actual Dead by Daylight, who act as kind of like caretakers, servants of the island. They kind of run stuff there, but they're not really in charge. Just imagine Larry from Amazing World of Gumball, and that's kind of like them. The main objective you want to do in this game, well, you probably shouldn't be wanting to do this, but is to spend time with the killers and getting to know them and eventually fall in love with them. Or you can just get friend zoned, which is a thing in the game. You could also be an asshole and manipulate them and break their heart at the very end, which is, I don't know, eye for an eye, being mean to a vicious psychopath. There's not much gameplay in this game. Well, it's a dating sim after all, you know, it's just, you read dialogue, the occasional choose what you say dialogue shit, you know. If you know what a dating sim is, then you know. There are mini games, in quotations, because it's basically just a skill check from Dead by Daylight, except, ooh, it's meat is the skill check you have to hit, and instead of the little normal rotating thing, it's a machete. Oh, it's a reskin skill check. And then there's this one other minigame to spin the bottle, but it's the same thing, except you can't miss the skill check, it just lands on someone. Like I know the game is probably on like a time crunch, because it was set to release this summer, and it's at the very, very end of summer, but come on. The Wraith is your stereotypical shy and kissed cute boy, except he's not cute. Not really. He's kind of annoying. And if you decide to go for the Wraith path storyline, whatever it's called, you'll end up going to the pool with him, and Trapper follows you and decides to piss in the pool. It's not the only weird kink we'll see in this game. On the second day, you go with Wraith to the dump. I think it's called the dump. If it's not, then it should be called the dump. Where you can play cornhole with him. How romantic. And he shows you the hatch, where you can go into this cult room, which belongs to the Black Veil, which is an actual cult in the Dead by Daylight lore that worships the entity. The next day, you go throughout the island, searching for Rafe's missing bell. And you can actually stumble upon Trickster, who can take you to IP Island, which I think is a funny joke in the game, where it literally just has all the IP characters, like Ghostface and shit. They even say Ghostface's name. And you'll eventually find a bell is not belongs. It's in the possession of the spirit, which you get back by a really intense minigame. Bootleg skill checks. Yes. And then, now that you have the bell, you go back to the Black Veil cult room, where you meet Rafe's grandmother. I was shocked too when I first got to that part. And you have to use the bell to do some weird as hell cult ritual where you have to cut out Rafe's heart as a sacrifice so you two can be escapees of the island. But you actually have a choice here. You can choose to not cut out his heart and get the bad ending, or not wanting to kill your significant other. Well, technically no, because they also just clown on him really hard. The bad ending. And Rafe is left heartbroken, but at least the heart is still in him. Or you do the good ending, where you cut out his heart, the ritual doesn't even work, and you wake up and he's somehow still alive, and you he's in a suggestive kind of pose. Not the most suggestive in the game though. It gets much worse. And you have fun cuddle time together. I don't want to think about that with the riff, so next one. The Trapper. The character I feel like people will be going for the least for no reason at all. Yeah. He's your stereotypical buff jock character who's also a big asshole. He's slightly less of an asshole though if you go on to root for him. No, still an ass though. But if you for some reason want to go and get the Trapper ending, and like you're not a completionist trying to get like all the endings, but you just go for him, well, peace be with you. But it starts out with you're on his boat, his epic yacht, which he likes to flex throughout the game. And also, by the way, bonus points if you clown on Dwight and Claudette during this part of the game. But there's not much interesting with the Trapper, to be honest. There's some days later, you go to his stupid cave, which is supposed to be a secret, even though like everyone knows about it. And he introduces you to his father, Mr. McMillan. Somehow even a bigger ass than him. I don't know how. But during the whole time he's introducing you to his father, he's wearing this absolutely horrible fucking disco ball on his balls Speedo. It's just, oh my god. Flashlight blind me, man. And after you gain Mr. McMillan's trust and respect, well, like, how much trust and respect can you get from an old cranky man? You get to decide if you're going to accept Trapper's love or not. And if you do, even though it's the good ending, it should be the bad ending. You see Trapper decorated with these roses and okay. The bad ending, the correct ending. You reject him because no one wants that. And his father's there the whole time. He's literally clowning on his son for getting rejected, which I find really funny. Anyways, next one. 'Cause bro really was like, Lamau, you got manipulated, little bitch boy, little cunt. Yeah, little bitch. The Spirit. The reason why 80% of the generates actually unironically bought this game. She's the golf girl, and she has blue hair and pronouns. I mean, quite literally, her hair is like a very dark navy blue. You start her route off by going to the bar where you can play Spin the Bottle. The only skill check bootleg that is not the same thing we've been having the entire game. It's slightly different. And next you go to the beach, which is near the haunted lighthouse, which is also the reason why all these like old dead relatives are coming back, because they can come back for the haunted lighthouse. All you really do on the beach is talk about cherry blossoms and play a mini game where you literally rub her toes with sunscreen. Well, it's not different than a normal skill check mini game, so it just looks different. The next day, you go back to the beach, but you go up into the lighthouse, where you end up getting passed out. Yeah, you fucking get your head bonked on, and you wake up in Trapper's cave, where the Spirit and Trapper are like breaking up. Which honestly, kinda douchey of the Spirit to be pursuing someone else while with someone else. Just saying. Spirit Sims, don't come after me. Go after her, the Spirit. Eventually go back up to the lighthouse and you not eat, meat. Come on. I know I just went on the route with the cannibal lady, but you gotta think straight right now. You meet the Oni. Yeah. Another killer. So there's a total of 6 killers from the game. In the game. Oh, from Dead by Daylight in this game. That's what I meant to say. You just do a ton of boring dialogue with him. It's not really an interesting character. He's just like, oh, big angry man. I already have Trapper, but he has more 3D dimensions than Oni. You then go down and you rub your feet again. Fucking hell, you're the foot fetish. That's the second kink I was talking about, by the way. And actually, I never even got to see the ending. I ended up getting friend-zoned by the Spirit after rubbing her feet twice. I didn't want to rub her feet, man. I didn't. But based off of the other endings, you could assume what the endings are. It's ooh, we fall in love, or ooh, haha, fuck you, eat my ass. I'm rejecting you last second, and then cry, little baby. I mean, I don't know, I'd probably cry 2 votes, let on like that. But I'm getting tired of this. This is my 3rd playthrough. And finally, the last killer. Finally, man, this took so long to get all, like, playing through all the routes. I have like 10 hours on the game now. Anyways. The Huntress is probably what you expect her to be if you played Dead by Daylight. Big, buff woman. Also, sorry if the last part just seems a bit, I don't know, just, I've played through this game 4 times. Like I said, like I have like 10 hours on the game. It's too much for me to handle. But in this route, actually something I didn't mention, because it happens every route, but you interrupt the killers playing volleyball. That's what happens at the start of the game every time. But in this route, you actually let them continue, and yes you, be a little simp, cheer on Huntress from the crowd while they're playing volleyball. Yeah, you weren't invited. Yeah, a little weakling. And you go somewhere, you go to her house or cabin, and you get attacked by crabs. I couldn't be making this up. Oh, like, just crabs. Killer crabs, yeah. Next day, you have to search for all the killers. Like, not through them, but like, you have to go like, they stole from the Huntress, basically. And you have to get the stuff they stole back. It consists of shit like coins, glasses, pens, bottle openers, stuff that's not really valuable, but it is a Huntress because it's shiny. That one fucking crab from Moana. I think it was a crab. Was it a lobster? It was a crab. Yeah. Alright. But, I don't really like this part too much. Because it's just skill check minigames. It's all skill check minigames for this part. Each killer you search, you have to do a skill check minigame, which, woo, fun. Hit button at the same right time. Like, switch it up, bro. It's the same thing. It just gets repetitive. Like this whole game. This whole game's already repetitive enough feeling. And the skill check is also repetitive. So once you finally collect everything, the Huntress is feeling frisky. And then you get cock blocked by her dead mom. Her dead mom is in the game for some reason. You notice the trend of bringing back like dead, or like, I don't know if Mr. McMillan's dead in with the Trapper, but like just dead relatives. What is this game? And you know the gist. You gotta gain their approval. Yada yada. Boring. And then you get to the confessing love part where, guess what, you guys, you're not gonna guess what happens. You can accept their love, or, guys, you won't believe this because you have not seen this 3 times before. You can, you can tell them you were just leading them on, you're being an asshole. Oh my god! Innovating gameplay. I know it's very unique from the other runs and playthroughs. It's all the same. Saying hooked on you is a weird game it's a fair thing to say. I don't know if it's odd compared to other dating sims I've played, but I haven't played any other dating sims besides Hooked on You, so it probably is. At a price of $10, I personally would not recommend buying this. Like, if you're a degenerate that's mentally deranged and has money to spare, then sure. Or if you just want the Jake cosmetics you get from this on actual Dead by Daylight, go ahead. It takes like 2 to 3 hours to complete a single run. Just like 8 to 12 hours to do all the runs, which is something like 10. There's replay value in it, but after the second run, it just feels really shitty, and I don't think they're gonna update it at all to like add a skip dialogue feature, since it kind of just seems like a throwaway, goofy project. And I don't really know. There's a lot of stuff I didn't touch on, like the Trickster and campfire stories, which like every night there's a campfire story. There's just a lot of little things I didn't touch on because I really wanted to encapsulate the different parts about each killer, just on what makes their run unique, and the unique stuff happens in it, even though there's some aspects that are not unique. Out of all games, I'd probably rate it like a 3 out of 10. It's personally not really my thing at all. I'm not really into it. But in dating sims, it's, I don't know, a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I don't know dating sims well, so that's just personally what I would rank it among them. But I personally don't want to know any more about dating sims. After Hooked on You, I'm gonna be done with dating sims for a while.